Hey guys, Jaden and Nick here from Ice Hockey Aussies, here to talk about an interesting little signing here for the Washington Capitals. They sign Tom Wilson, 7 years, 45.5 million, till 2030 31. AAV of 6.5 million, a little upgrade from his 5.1 million that was ending this year. So yeah, interesting little signing. He is 29, so he does take him to what was it, 37? I think it is. Yeah, 37, I believe it is when he ends. So interesting signing for a team that's in this little retool that they've signed a old veteran, you could probably say, for a long term. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, I mean it's a strange one. I'm not surprised. I did think Wilson would be one that they would attempt to keep. Um, but again, I'm also it is a tough one given that we know the Washington Capitals probably aren't going to be anywhere around the mark for the next couple of years. I think they want to believe they will be. It's probably why they've sort of done this signing, but we know once Ovechkin ultimately gets his goals record and they do finally go to that rebuild, it's going to be a long rebuild. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it almost seems like this is like Wilson's going to spend the next 7 years not playing playoffs. Um,
Yeah,
that's
that's what it does
that's
feel like, doesn't it?
almost yeah, like that's how I sort of look at this and go, yeah, I think it's a fantastic thing. I think Wilson's truly loved by the Washington Capital faithful. Um, so I doubt any of them wanted to see him go. So they're probably quite happy that he's going to be staying and they are going to get to enjoy him for the next 7 years. He is um, a big presence in that locker room. So, nah, look, I like it, and I kind of always thought they would re-sign him. But it does just start to, fill you with those questions of where's this Washington Capitals side going? Given
Mm.
that I don't even mind the cap, like 6.5 mil. We know the cap's going up. He's a player who can put up 50 points in a season. It's by no means a bad contract. I just think it to
I,
me it's
I,
one
th-
of
I
those that
think
I
it's
look at
bad
it
on
and go,
term. I think like going to 37. I don't think that's what I want to do, especially as a caps team. Taking him to 37,
oh,
maybe a 5 year to
they're just
35.
not.
I can understand, but
But they're not going to be like I know that they've got this feeling they can bounce back. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like with how strong it is, I just don't see them being anything in the next couple of years whilst Ovi does his
mm,
record, and then it's going to be a 4 to 5 year rebuild from there. So yeah, I don't think it really matters what the term of this contract is. I feel like Wilson's probably not playing playoffs along with the Capitals for quite some time.
yeah, I guess I don't want to pay 6.5 million for a player that's probably not going to take me to playoffs. But that's just
Hmm.
me. I think he's a really good player and everything, but I do have my gripes that he only played 33 games last year. A couple of seasons before that was only 47. So injury prone, somewhat. If when he gets older, gets worse, most likely. That's normally how things work. But also, he only played 33 games, but 78 penalty minutes. Like, he had four
he,
fights, but
he loves the
78
box.
penalty minutes in 33 games. He had 19 minors. So it's almost a minor a game, which is basically it's horrendous. He was a
Mm-hmm.
negative 13, so he just had an abysmal season all up. But he's always had high penalty minutes, taking a lot of penalties. So I do think that had to be taken into account, which I don't think it was. I know he had, out of the last 5 seasons, three of those he had over 20 goals, and the other two, what he was on track for 20 goals. But I think you got to take his injuries into account, the fact that he takes so many penalty minutes, and the fact that he is 29. He's born in March, so he'll be 30 this year. Yeah, he'll be 37 when this contract ends. 6.5 mil won't look as bad in the future, but yeah, no, I just don't. I don't think I like it personally, but for where the Capitals are in their time. I feel like you
Mm.
flip a Wilson for more assets because he's not going to be there in that rebuild 3-4 years down the line when you actually need him. But I get it for getting Ovechkin's his title.
Yeah, but if that was the only reason to re-sign him, you sign him for 2 or 3 years and trade him
Oh
out
yeah,
once
but
it's done. But
the thing is, Wilson's
yeah,
not going to want that. Wilson's going to want term because he
oh,
knows he's probably going to deteriorate and whatnot. So he's probably like, "Hey, sign me a
exactly.
term. I'm probably going to play 4 more years. Then I'm not worth that. I get bought out. I don't
Yeah,
care. I get paid. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
true.
So
But
play
hey,
aside, he wants term.
yeah. Look, the one thing I will say for him, the good old muscle man poster has to buy him some sort of brownie points, right?
That's a meal there.
Um, I was gonna say that just automatically bumped his price up. Every single time he flexes like that in the penalty box after hitting someone. But no, look, I like Wilson as a player. It's just, yeah, I think that's my biggest issue with it is you potentially putting someone like him on the golf course early for the next 7 years.
Hmm. Like, don't make it around. I don't know at this point in time if it is a no move clause or not. It might be a modified
Mm,
no trade clause. Just having a quick look. Yeah, it is a modified no trade clause. 15 team no trade list. So look, they have flexibility on moving it if they want to move it, but it is basically half the league limited.
mm,
And being half the league limited, you're basically ruling out any of the up and coming teams. Um, it's basically playoff only contenders. So you'd have to probably eat half the cap of him if you wanted to move him to a salary, to a cup contending team. If that happened in next year in the future. So
mm.
I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like this ages poorly. It's not going to be fine wine. I feel like this will age poorly. But I like Tom Wilson. I do think at the moment he is worth that. But I do have my gripes with how many penalty minutes he takes and how poor last season was. But 20
Mm.
plus goal scorer, going to average you around 50 points. That's what he's done. Hasn't been the best playoff performer, but he somewhat does get the job done. So I don't mind that.
Yeah, look,
Overall, out of A to F, what do you reckon?
this I'd probably go a C.
Yeah.
Honestly. I think it's past mark just purely because of him, who it
Mm,
is to the Washington Capitals franchise. I feel like if they didn't re-sign Wilson, Washington Capitals fans would probably be quite frustrated.
mm,
He is quite loved there. So, and as I said, he's a big locker room presence. So, mate, perhaps that's one of the big reasons why they're signing him. Maybe he loves it there. He wants to stay, and he's quite happy to assist in the rebuild and be that veteran presence for when
I
they,
would for 6.5, but yeah, that's me.
oh,
Um,
100%. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, he's won a cup, so
Uh,
um,
I guess
yeah.
my thought process, it's a D just because I think it should have been around 5 years, and I think that way it lines it a little bit better. And I don't mind the modified no trade clause, though I probably would have liked to seen that limited to maybe 10 teams, not 15. Uh,
It is in the back end. The last 3 years is a 10 team no trade
it
list.
is in the
So
back end, but I feel like at that point,
yeah,
this won't age well. So yeah, I would like to see that up front and just less term. The AAV doesn't really bother me too much. It's just really term and the direction they're
mm.
going. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think of this signing. If it's good for the Washington Capitals, helps Ovi get the title that he wants and is aiming for. And yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave all notifications on, and until next video, we'll catch you guys.
See you later, guys.